Anna never planned to become chaplain prefect. When Father Mike, the school principal, mentioned her name during morning assembly, her heart beat fast. Other girls clapped for her, but Anna sat quietly. She knew that being chaplain prefect was not only about leading the rosary or cleaning the chapel. It was a position of great responsibility. It meant guiding others in prayer, being strong when fear entered the hostel, and standing firm in faith even when things became strange. She accepted the role because she believed it was God's will. At 17, her final year of secondary school, she already had a calm spirit. Every morning before dawn, she woke up before the bell and went to the chapel to ring it. Her hands had become rough from pulling the thick rope, but her heart was steady. By 5:30 a.m., she led the long line of sleepy girls into the chapel, their wrappers tied around their waist, and voices blending as they prayed the rosary. The sound of hundreds of beads clicking together was like raindrops on a zinc roof. The Catholic faith controlled everything in their boarding school. Morning prayer started the day. The Angelus rang at noon, and during Lent, students walked the Stations of the Cross every day. On feast days, they wore white blouses, sang hymns, and attended special masses. Father Mike's voice always carried far during homilies as he talked about discipline, temptation, and the power of prayer. After morning devotion, hostel life was full of activity. Juniors swept dormitories, arranged buckets at the bathroom, and fetched water from the borehole whenever the taps were dry. The seniors inspected every corner of the hostel to ensure beds were neatly laid. If any junior left her sheet rough or failed to tuck in her wrapper properly, punishment followed. Breakfast was always something simple: hot pap with akara or bread. Lunch came with rice or beans, and dinner was garri with soup or yam porridge. The dining hall was always noisy, filled with laughter, gossip, and the sound of spoons hitting enamel plates. Each girl's plate had her name scratched underneath to prevent theft. Every prep was serious business. After supper, everyone gathered in classrooms with lanterns to read until 9:30 p.m. Anna often walked around to ensure students were reading and not gossiping. When the final bell rang for lights out at 10 p.m., all the girls returned to the hostel. Juniors stayed on the lower bunks, while seniors took the upper ones, especially near windows where the air was cooler. At night, the hostel was full of whispers. Some girls gossiped under their breath, others cried because they missed home, and some secretly soaked garri with sugar and granules when they were hungry. There were quarrels about missing wrappers, shared buckets, and stolen provisions. Yet, in all the chaos, there was still peace. Everyone understood the rhythm of hostel life. It was strict, but it was their second home. Everything changed when Lady Koi Koi came. It happened around 1 in the morning. Anna was fast asleep when she heard a sound that made her eyes snap open. The sharp click of high heels hitting the cement floor echoed through the dark corridor. At first, she thought maybe it was the dorm mistress, but the sound was too slow, too deliberate. Her heart pounded as she listened. The sound was not coming from outside. It was coming from inside the hostel. The moonlight from the window fell across the floor, and Anna saw something move. A tall, slim figure walked slowly between the bunks. Her gown brushed the floor. Her shoes shone red with every step. Anna froze. She gripped her rosary under her pillow and held her breath. Suddenly, a loud thud broke the silence. Onyinye, one of the youngest girls, had fallen from her bed and was shaking on the floor. Foam poured from her mouth as her body twisted violently. The mysterious figure stopped and looked down briefly before walking away. The sound of the heels grew faint and disappeared completely. The dorm mistress came rushing in with her torchlight. Onyinye was taken to the school clinic, and by morning, she had been sent home. No one dared to speak openly about what happened, but everyone in the hostel knew it wasn't a dream. That night, fear became a permanent guest in the dormitory. 1 week later, when everyone thought things had gone back to normal, the sound returned. The girls woke up again, trembling. Anna was ready this time. She held her rosary tightly and whispered, "Jesus, take control." The figure entered the hostel again, moving slowly like she owned the place. The red shoes glowed, and in the moonlight, Anna could nearly see her red lips, bright, shiny and red. Chiamaka, one of the bold SS2 girls, whispered from her bunk, "Who are you?" The figure turned her head sharply. Instantly, Chiamaka screamed and started convulsing. Her whole body jerked violently. The girls panicked, some hiding under their wrappers, others panicked. Others cried out in fear. The figure slowly turned and left as her heels faded down the corridor. The next day, Chiamaka was taken to the hospital. For a whole week, she lay unconscious in a coma. Then the news came. She had died. The hostel fell into deep silence after that. Girls refused to sleep. Some prayed until morning. Nobody wanted to go to the bathroom alone. Fear walked among them like another student. Anna prayed harder than ever. Every night after prep, she stayed behind in the chapel, kneeling in front of the tabernacle. She poured her heart out in prayer, asking for protection for the school. She started carrying a small bottle of holy water that Father Mike had blessed, hidden in her pocket. She knew deep down that if Lady Koi Koi returned again, she would have to face her. It was a Wednesday. The night was quiet until around midnight when the sound began again. The heels struck the staircase, echoing in the hostel. "She's back," one of the girls whispered. Anna stood up immediately. Her knees shook slightly, but she refused to let fear control her. She grabbed her torchlight, the small bell, and the holy water. "Be calm," she whispered to the girl beside her. The figure entered again, tall, graceful, but terrifying. The red shoes clicked softly, echoing through the room. Anna followed her quietly until they reached the center of the dormitory. She put her torchlight on the floor, so its beam faced upward and lit the woman's gown. Then she rang the bell sharply. The sound cut through the silence. The girls jumped awake. Some screamed, others started reciting their rosary out loud. Anna knelt down in the center of the hostel. Her voice was clear as she said, "Who are you?" The figure froze and slowly turned. Her eyes were blood red and her voice hissed, "How dare you speak to me?" Anna stood her ground. "I am a child of God. I ask again, who are you?" The woman's voice became louder, echoing as if it came from many mouths. "I am Lady Koi Koi." The girls gasped, their rosaries shaking in their hands. Anna lifted the holy water and said, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to return to your kingdom and never come back here again." She splashed the holy water. A sharp cry filled the room. The figure's gown ripped apart, and the red shoes began to fade. The light flickered, and suddenly she was gone. The hostel was silent again. Only the sound of heavy breathing filled the air. Anna slowly lowered her hand and whispered, "Be calm, she is gone." From that night, Lady Koi Koi never returned. The fear that once ruled the hostel began to fade away. Onyinye later came back to school, weak but alive. But Chiamaka's death remained a painful memory that nobody could forget. Months later, during the school's speech and prize giving day, the Parents Teachers Association unveiled a monument beside the chapel. It was a brass bell mounted on a stone block with an inscription that said, "To Senior Anna, Chaplain Prefect 2022/2023, who led us in prayer and taught us to be brave." Father Mike often told Anna's story during Mass. "Courage is not about noise," he would say. Courage is knowing who you belong to and standing in that truth. Even after Anna graduated, her story spread beyond the school walls. Parents told their daughters about her bravery before sending them to boarding school. In her village, her name became a symbol of faith and boldness. Years later, when new students whispered about Lady Koi Koi, the older girls would smile and say softly, "Do not fear, she is gone."